Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. The president is touring Europe. Stephen Colbert thinks President Biden can win Europe back. He said, "Come on, Europe, you can't judge us. You had fascists. We had fascists. You have rulers that marry their cousins. We have Rudy Giuliani, who married his cousin. President Biden's going to see the sights, ride the rails, come back saying words like Lori and Zed, complain about how bad our butter is over here. Of course, switching from double fisting ice cream to double fisting gelato." Is Stephen Colbert making fun of me? Because gelato is better than ice cream. Can we just accept that? James Corden said, "It's going to be a little awkward trying to mend fences. Every speech he gives is going to begin with, hey, look about the last guy. Sorry about that." That's right. Biden is hoping to repair ties with our European allies. I think he'll be well received. I mean, for starters, there won't be a giant baby balloon following him wherever he goes. Have you ever seen that balloon? I have seen it. It's amazing. Kimmel, the news coverage of Biden's trip got off to a bumpy start. The White House press plane was delayed almost 7 hours because a swarm of cicadas flew into the engine of the plane. That is not a joke. That happened. If this was a movie, the government would have to go to a cabin in the woods to convince Sully Sullenberger to do one last job. United was like, "Oh, that's good. Can we use that?" Jimmy Fallon writers, that's excellent. Love that joke. Kimmel, the cicadas are so out of touch. They haven't been above ground since 2004, and it shows. I mean, look at this one. Ed Hardy shirt, Von Dutch hat, and he's using a BlackBerry wearing one of those Livestrong bracelets. It's embarrassing. President Biden was seen swatting away a cicada on camera. Trevor Noah said, "Oh, shoot, a cicada got Joe Biden? I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure that means Joe Biden is now going to turn into a cicada." Fallon chimed in saying, "Tomorrow, the cicada will be on Fox News in a neck brace calling for Biden to be impeached. See what he did to me? It's on tape." The cicada returned to his buddies like, "Damn, the old man's faster than I thought." Colbert, "Forget the Secret Service. This man needs a SWAT team." Think about it, Fallon. Meanwhile, Mike Pence was like, "Bugs on your head? You're supposed to save that for the big debate." Let's stay on that side of the pond, which I don't think is a phrase anybody actually uses. But anyway, from Chortle, Harry Enfield is to play the Prince of Wales. You Yanks know him as Prince Charles at the Prince of Wales Theatre. Channel 4's royal family sitcom The Windsors is to hit the West End stage this summer. The Windsors is a lot of fun. It is a sitcom about the royal family. I believe it's on Netflix. Watch it. It's a good time. Harry Enfield will reprise his role as Prince Charles from the TV show. This version is called The Windsors Endgame. No other cast has yet been announced, but producers say actors from the TV series will be involved. The plot revolves around Wills, that's Prince William to you Yanks, challenging his father for the crown, and Camilla determined to see him off and rule the land with an iron fist. Wills needs Harry and Meghan's help if he's ever going to triumph. But will they come back from California and their authentic life with their rescue chickens? And how will Beatrice and Eugenie ever clear their father, Prince Andrew's name? The Windsors has run on Channel 4 for 3 series. Those are seasons to you Yanks, 2016, 2017, and 2020, plus 2 specials. No 4th season has yet been announced. This is a good opportunity for me to plug Palace Intrigue. That is a podcast about the royal family for which I write. We do royal family stuff for 5 to 7 minutes, Monday through Friday. Palace Intrigue, wherever you get your podcasts. If you like Meghan Markle-related gossip, Palace Intrigue, wherever you get your podcasts. Ricky Gervais has said if he could have any superpower, it would be the ability to break people's legs by just thinking it. Really, Ricky? That doesn't sound nice. On his podcast, the paywall one that you're not listening to because it's behind a paywall, says, if I had the power, if I could give people a headache or break their leg by just thinking it, if they annoyed me, there'd be lots of people walking around with broken legs. Definitely. I'd just do it for a laugh sometimes. From Deadline, The Rock says the following people will be in the cast of the upcoming animated DC movie, DC League of Super Pets. Dwayne Johnson says the cast includes Kevin Hart. Hey, look at that. Another day, Kevin Hart has another gig. The man likes to work. Keanu Reeves, Kate McKinnon, Vanessa Bayer, and John Krasinski. None of the roles were disclosed except that Kevin Hart will be the voice of Ace. From Variety, Peacock, you know, the streaming service you don't watch, they're doing MacGruber. I don't know why, but they've announced more casts. Sam Elliott, Lauence Fishburne, and Mickey Rourke. Apparently MacGruber pays well. Sam Elliot, Lauence Fishburne, and Mickey Rourke join the previously announced cast in the 8-episode series after rotting in prison for over a decade. America's ultimate hero and uber patriot MacGruber is finally released. His mission is to take down a mysterious villain from his past. It's Brigadier Commander Enos Queeth, played by Mickey Rourke. With the entire world in the crosshairs, MacGruber must reassemble his old team, including Kristin Wiig, in order to defeat the forces of evil. Sam Elliott will play Perry, who is MacGruber's father. Though they've drifted apart over the years, MacGruber will need his father's sage guidance if he hopes to succeed. MacGruber, coming soon to be ignored on Peacock near you. From Deadline, Pete Lee will make his Showtime debut with Pete Lee, Tall, Dark, and Pleasant. I had kind of forgotten Showtime existed. I like Billions a lot, and then I was like, oh yeah, Showtime, they're still doing that. Pete Lee, Tall, Dark, and Pleasant, will appear on Showtime Friday, July 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. It was filmed at the Tempe Improv in Arizona. The special dives into Pete Lee's outrageous struggles with people-pleasing, relationships, sex, drugs, and motion sensor sinks. The hour-long special sees Lee educate viewers on why it sucks to be a nice guy and how he hates conflict. Unless the person he's talking to likes it, then of course he likes it too. From Tech Radar, your home for comedy news. By the way, the R key on my keyboard is sticking, so Tech Radar is spelled Techada in my notes here. Netflix's sketch comedy show I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson was one of the oddball highlights of the streaming service back when it was released in 2019 on Netflix. Now, Netflix has confirmed that a second season will be out July 6th. The series only had 6 episodes in its first season. The show is functionally similar to other sketch-based series, but it's far stranger and more unpredictable than anything you'd see on Saturday Night Live. That's made it a cult hit among comedy fans, but the show drew near unanimous praise from critics when it was released. From WTOP, Comedy Central ranked Louie Anderson one of the 100 greatest stand-up comedians of all time. That makes me tempted to make a list. Would Louie Anderson be in the top 100? 100 is a lot. If he's on it, he's not in the top 10, I'll tell you that. Maybe one of these days I'll make a list. Tomorrow, Louie Anderson hosts a virtual comedy special from his home in Las Vegas. He told WTOP, I've been working on this material from being cooped up a whole year. You realize a lot of things. How we've lived the last year with Uber Eats and DoorDash. Do I buy Bitcoin or Dogecoin? What do I do with my life now? Who are my friends? He should order some George Lopez tacos. A pandemic shows you who your real friends are. Anderson said, who called you? Who checked on you? When you called them, who was trying to do something good for their life? Who are the people that didn't call you at all? And you're like, I thought we were friends. I got a lot of funny stuff the first time I went out after the pandemic. He was even able to reflect on his mother, who survived the Spanish flu a century ago. Louie said, my mom was born during the last pandemic. She was like 7 or 8 during the Spanish flu. She didn't go into details other than we all had to stay home. We had to be careful. He just wrote a book called Hey Mom, Stories I Told My Mom, and you can hear them too. Louie said, it was a really good book for me. It really made me realize how much I miss my mom and how many questions I have. I always tell people, hey, talk to your mom. Ask her questions you're never going to be able to ask when she's around. Find out why she married Dad. What's the big attraction? What did she give up in her life to raise all of us? Very profound, Louie Anderson. She was a very empathetic person. She really cared about people. If a kid in the neighborhood looked hungry, she'd have him stay for dinner. She always said, be nice to people. You never know what kind of day they had, Louie. My dad was a grump. He was a war veteran. He'd been through a lot. So I had an interesting family all the way around. Howie Mandel spoke to People about his struggles with anxiety, saying, there isn't a waking moment of my life when we could die doesn't come into my psyche. But the solace I would get would be the fact that everybody around me was okay. It's good to latch onto okay, but during the pandemic, the whole world was not okay, and it was absolute hell. My coping skill is finding the funny. If I'm not laughing, then I'm crying, and I still haven't been that open about how dark and ugly it really gets. Now, those were 2 serious stories, and I don't want to end the show and the week on a serious note like that, so I just went to the Google machine and typed in Adam Sandler, because I figured I'll find something I can make fun of when we go out on a high note. I'm doing this cold. I haven't read this at all. From the Daily Mail, Adam Sandler signs a fan's arm outside his hotel in Prague ahead of filming his new movie, Spaceman. Sure, why not, Adam Sandler? The actor, 54, kept things casual in an oversized blue t-shirt and gray shorts as he signed a fan's arm outside Adam Sandler's hotel. Now, about the oversized blue t-shirt and gray shorts, I'm looking here at thedailymail.com, and as I've mentioned in the past, nobody thinks I'm a good dresser, but next to Adam Sandler, I am Sean Connery in 1963. Adam Sandler is working on Spaceman, the story of a Czech astronaut sent on a lengthy mission into outer space while his life on Earth slowly fades away. Ooh, look at this. Remember the whole thing with the IHOP? We've got an update here. Just to catch everybody up, Sandler went viral on TikTok recently after an IHOP employee revealed her embarrassment at not recognizing the actor when he asked for a table at a very busy Long Island IHOP. Sandler left the restaurant after the hostess told him it would be a 30-minute wait, but Sandler has joked on Twitter it wasn't the wait that made him leave the restaurant, but the lack of an all-you-can-eat choice. He said, "For the record, I only left the IHOP because the nice woman told me the all-you-can-eat deal didn't apply to the milkshakes." That's it. Thank you, Adam Sandler. That's your comedy news for today. Normal episodes this weekend. If you like what I do, buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews. Subscribe to the podcast. No, we don't subscribe. Subscribe means money. We follow. This podcast is free. I'm no Ricky Gervais. Follow the podcast for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever you want to do. Joe's podcast app, if that's what you use. Who am I to judge? See you tomorrow.